Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday morning. It's a nice one too. My wife just got back with a little walk with the wiener dogs. Honey, the youngest one, ready to go. Let's go walk. Eddie on the couch, side eye. No, I can relate to that some days, Eddie. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to be talking about an amazing small world coincidence today. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have even popped on here, but it just led me to think I'd like to hear your stories about coincidences where you're on a plane, you're seated next to, I don't know, somebody that is related to you. I will tell you about mine a little bit, give a few more people a chance to hop on here. Yesterday, I went on a campaign for 5,000 followers of my page. And let me just here, I'll give you an update here. You see that? 4,000. Now, yesterday was 4,500 and change. So there were nearly 500 more people yesterday. That's awesome. But really, 4,992 right now. I'm going to do a telethon. I don't know what. I want to get on top of a building in downtown Wilmer and go live until I get those last 8. So you may wonder, why does it matter? Why do 5,000 matter? I'll tell you why in a second. Welcome those who are coming on. Remember, you can start typing your story now. It doesn't have to be long, but this one time I went to Europe and I was waiting in line for a gelato, and there was my third grade teacher. Something like that. And then as they come in, I can share them here too. So, yeah, here's what I used to do. Sunny and 67 today. That's nice. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and 70. They do include a 30% chance for scattered showers after 1 o'clock tomorrow. It gets windy. Then by Saturday, sunny and 76. I forgot to look up because it's Mother's Day on Sunday. Are you going to go see Mom? I forgot to kind of check what the Sunday weather is. It's a long way out. Slight chance of showers after 1. Otherwise, sun 82. Oh, for Mother's Day. Headline: nearly half of U.S. home buyers want a home close to mom. I didn't dig into the details of that. Here's a few more headlines before I get into the reason that I'm doing this. I see a few more joining me here live. Thank you. Comment about your small world coincidence, and then I'll talk about some of those. Utah ranks the best state in the U.S. for the second year in a row. I have a niece who lived in Utah for a time. Not very long. Was it even a year? And now she's in Tennessee. Researchers developed modified chemical compound based on the psychedelic venom of the Colorado river toad that reduces anxiety and stress without inducing hallucinations. Oh, okay. Well, you can look that up. It's National Lost Sock Memorial Day. I did a video on that, I think back in January. No lie. There had to have been a dozen single socks lined up. Where did they go? They're not to be found. So, all right, why does it matter if I have 5,000 followers? I guess in the scheme of things, it doesn't terribly. But on Facebook, I kind of explained this yesterday. I have enough engagement from nice folks like you that caught the attention of Facebook. They're starting to run ads on some of my posts, especially videos. And, well, you get to share in the revenue of the ads if you have 5,000 or more followers. And I don't know if you've tried, but on your personal page, I just learned this yesterday, Facebook only allows 5,000 friends. Then you become more like a page, a business or a fan page, and that's the status where they'll share revenues with you. I already had 2 videos that said, "Hey, you need to share the video because you used music from Toto and Billy Joel." Either that or delete them. So yeah, I'll share. That can be my claim to fame. I am sharing ad revenue with Billy Joel. I don't have any idea how much it is. If there are others who are monetizing this, is it going to be pennies, dollars, tens of dollars? I don't know. I'm curious to find out. But again, thanks to you for engaging with me. Am I eight followers away from 8? So I've sent out, I think, all the invitations that I can. I'm inviting you to follow my page. And once I've done that, I don't get to bug you again, which is fair. But go back to your notifications. If you see, hey, Tim Burns invited you to follow his page, it'd be lovely if you click that and boost me over that 5,000 mark. Another reason is any sort of monetization that we can do right now is back in January. Pretty sure you know the story. It's why I'm doing this and I'm not on the radio right now. The new owners of the radio station decided not to hire me on. There's a video on that, 211,000 views. I invited a lot of people from the comments in that as well. So back in January, I not only lost my job and a little dignity, and I lost any hope for corporate humanity. But I also lost insurance, health insurance. Ask people, well, you know what? I can look at my demographics. Y'all are in that point where you start making decisions because, well, I got insurance. I'm staying with the job because I can't insure. I'm not retiring because I need the insurance. Now, I'm on my wife's right now. Her company, very good to their employees for insurance. But you add a family member, like, well, you're on your own. It's very expensive. So if tens or hundreds of dollars can come from ads when I play in a piano organ duet, that would be helpful. Don't get me wrong. We're fine. Yeah, we're fine. We're not in any panic mode. And I keep telling people who ask, well, what are you doing now? I'm doing a lot of things freelance. So of course, there's no insurance in any of that. And that with a little bit of unemployment still for, I don't know, a month more, maybe. Yeah, we're fine. And savings, that's my tip to the youngsters here. Save early, save often, talk to a financial planner, and get those retirement savings going right away so that when you're let go of a job at 59 years of age, you can say, yeah, I'm saved all my life. I'm ready to be done. I'm not in that place. Okay. So I mentioned the, okay, wait, we've got some comments. Good morning, Tim. How are you and your family? Well, Jordan, thank you. Very well. You know, when I talk about losing the job, losing the insurance, mentally, never better. We're great. There's a load off. There's a relief of not working for, well, that company, any right now. We're fine. So probably have heard this, Teresa, but after knowing Londa for a few years, that's my wife, while sitting on your porch having cocktails one evening, we realized that Londa lived very near my half-siblings as a child and remembered them. There's a coincidence I'm talking about. And I want you to share more because I'm going to tell you what mine was. Good morning, Missy. Thank you. So as I'm looking through the new people who are joining as followers of my page, I'm recognizing where they from, who are they, do I know these person? Oh, I remember that name as a listener or a frequent caller or participant in our radio social media back in the day. And then I saw one that gave me pause. It was wait, I'm just going to scroll back here. Christian. And it said from Montevideo. Hey, I lived in Montevideo, I think something like 25, 26 years. But then from Mitchell, South Dakota. I think many of you know Mitchell, South Dakota is my hometown. I grew up there. I guess I was like 5-6 months old when my parents moved there. So virtually my entire life in Mitchell, South Dakota. So, hey, he's from Mitchell, lived in Montevideo. I was from Mitchell, lived in Montevideo. I wrote him. I said, Christian, curious, when did you live in Mitchell? I grew up there and I lived in Montevideo. What a coincidence. Hey, Tammy writes back, grew up there from 77 to 96. When were you there? And when were you in Montevideo? So I told him. And then I said, are you any relation to Rick Wagner, who was a dear friend of mine in high school? Then I thought, well, he could almost be my friend's son, maybe, or grandson. I don't know. When you hear, oh, do you know this Wagner? And then I added, I see we're also both Facebook friends with a Jim Thompson. And it was the Jim Thompson I know. Remember me talking about my barbershop quartet, the Crooning Tunas? So Jim Thompson was our lead in that quartet. He also was the president of Thrivent, lived in the Twin Cities, retired now. Nice guy, nice family. So this Christian in Montevideo is Facebook friends with Jim Thompson. I said, so how do you know Jim? He said, well, Jim Thompson is my uncle. And I knew Rick Wagner because Jim used to bring him over to the house. So both of these friends of mine from high school now are connected to Christian. He said, I have heard the stories of the tunas from Jim and my mom, Lori, who would be Jim's sister. I bet you haven't heard all the stories about the Crooning Tunas, Christian. So if you're just joining me, Christian lives in Montevideo. It said he's from Mitchell, South Dakota originally. So he says, my wife said you came to the house to fix our piano one time in Montevideo. And I did. I took online courses in piano tuning and repair. And I did a few, this is probably 10 years ago, and just realized that I didn't have the time after working in Wilmer all day and then get home. And then, it takes a couple of hours. And so I kind of gave that up. But I tuned their piano in their house. So I said, oh, where did you live? And I looked that up. It was like a block and a half from two houses I used to live in Montevideo. One to the south and one to the northeast. We actually lived really closely there, and we did have overlapping time in Montevideo. So he asked, was Rick a friend as well? I said, yeah, he was a friend of all of us in the quartet. He was our tuna helper, our manager for the Crooning Tunas. He just asked what I'm doing. I said, I'm doing a lot of freelance work. And then I showed him the house where we lived. And I told him I did the show from this house from 2011 to 2014, which is only about a block and two houses away from him. He says, that's crazy. Glad you landed on your feet. Listen to you every morning because I work on the road. So traveling every morning. Do you still stay in contact with my Uncle Jim, or as you call him, Jim, my friend? I see a little here and there on Facebook. When I started brewing a few years ago, Jim was a big time home brewer, and he gave me some pointers. And so Christian says, I have brewed with my uncle as well. I'm also good friends with the owners of Talking Waters Brewery in Montevideo. So then I said, oh, so Nick Patton, one of the owners, is the brother of my stepdaughter's really good friend, Taylor, from high school. It's just like these coincidences just kept happening. So then I add, well, you don't happen to know my friend and high school teacher, Todd Rietveld. He's also track coach. I think more cross country, but also track. He says, oh, my son's in track. He had to ask him if he knew Mr. Rietveld. So by the end, this is getting to be 10:30 last night. And I said, well, maybe we'll just have to have a Talking Waters beer one day and catch up on all these coincidences. He says, I would love that. I must get some sleep now, have an early morning, and great to connect with you and get to know you, Tim. It's a small world. So, Annette, okay, thank you. Share your story. I'll get to as many as I can here. Long story shortened, in traveling to Ukraine for church mission trip, which I know the Bensons and many others in the community have done often, we ended up one year at a destination near Romanian border, 13 hours away from where we usually stayed with the host family. Upon return to U.S., I was showing trip pictures to a Ukrainian student that was renting a room from us while attending Ridgewater. When I go to the pictures of the host family I stayed with, he said, the family I stayed with. Wait, is there a more? I think it cut her off. No, Annette. There must be a max. So anyway, he must have known the family that he stayed with. Twyla, absolutely love watching. Oh, Twyla, thank you. You know, I wonder. I enjoy doing this because it's what I do, talk in front of a mic. I like it when I have somebody to banter with. And I wonder, should I not? Jason, excited to see you and Londa this week. And that's right. Jay used to work afternoons at a radio station I know very well. His wife has a landmark birthday. Actually, I think it already happened, but they're having a party on Saturday. I can tell you that her landmark birthday is quite a ways behind my landmark birthday, but we've gotten to know Jay and his wife very well through their Casting with Caleb Foundation, and that's when we went out to clean the roadside over by Litchfield. Is that 2-3 weeks ago? So they're having a soiree. Jason says, morning, Uncle Tim from Brindley. They're in Sioux Falls. You guys always come and check out when I'm on. Thank you. Is this another story from Melissa? Good morning, my friend. So glad to have caught you online. You should strongly consider signing up for the Facebook notifications. People can sign up for free to receive a text alert before you go live. Helps boost viewers. Well, this platform that I'm using, which is StreamYard, I'll just tell you, that's how I can do these cool overlays and stuff like this. And I can show you my 4,992 followers. When I go to create an event, it makes an event, but so a text alert. Okay, I will look into that. So my followers would get a text, hey, Tim's going to go live, as opposed to happening to see the event. Thank you, Alyssa. And Alyssa's been a great follower and contributor. I appreciate that. I think we have another small world story. Becky started a new job in Montevideo. Hey, Becky, I used to live in Montevideo. It's a coincidence. Grew up in Redwood. About 2 years ago, found myself chatting with a coworker about growing up by Fairfax and later Redwood Falls. She tells me she knew one person from Fairfax from when she was in Votech and Wilmer. Tells me the name, and I got to tell her that the one person she knew from Fairfax happened to be my mom. Da, 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 da. I just thought of another one as you're thinking of what you can share. Yeah, Alyssa, small world we live in. My wife and I were in the Black Hills on a vacation. This is a few years ago. and we were at a little restaurant in Keystone that had sort of a second level balcony overlooking the street. And we're having, I don't know, I think it was a chicken place, chicken and a beer. There was a couple sitting next to us, and they're making small talk. Where are you from? Oh, we're from Wilmer, Minnesota. And I can't remember. I think they were from Iowa. But we're originally from a small town in North Dakota you probably never heard of. And I'm like, well, you know what? I went to school in Fargo-Moorhead. I worked in Grand Forks. Maybe I know it. It's such a tiny town. You wouldn't know. And whoopsie. So I said, no, try me. Now, okay, now I can't remember the name of the town. Let me look it up here one time. Oh, Manville. We're from Manville, North Dakota. I go, what? My daughter lives in Manville, which is real close. It's like a suburb of Grand Forks. And they knew my daughter. So, like, there's a small world. Yeah, Tuna Helper. Well, it's not where we got the name for the quartet. There was an REO Speedwagon album. It had a fish on the front. Do you remember this one? At the bottom in small print, it said you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. That was the inspiration for the crooning tunas. And then as our manager, Rick Wagner became the Tuna Helper. Terry, good morning. Thank you. Yep, there's Annette now. Post got cut off. The Ukrainian student renting from us said the picture of our host family was his English teacher before he immigrated. There you go. So I guess we've learned that there is a limit to the amount of text, at least that can show up on this video feed. Good morning from Aberdeen, Steve. Oh, Steve Bigler. The Biglers were very involved, and maybe still are, with the South Dakota Snow Queen Festival. And so I got to know them back in the early 90s when I was involved with Montevideo Fiesta days. Hello, Biglers, Rambler, Nash Hudson. Yeah, he was at the car dealership there. Chrysler Jeep. Is that right, Steve? What's this? Mrs. Burns. My uncle married Tim's aunt. Here we go. This is true. Okay, so my wife's uncle married my aunt. Mind you, these were aunts and uncles that married into our families, okay? So my mom's sister married her dad's brother. We ended up living in the same town and met through the magic of radio. The rest is history. Yeah, she won a contest by identifying a backwards song, which I think was Barry Manilow. I'm not sure of the song. Copacabana, maybe. Haley was going to school in Norway, walking down the main street to the palace, passed by a woman who looked familiar, and I turned and said, Mrs. Hanson? And the woman turned. It was my 8th grade English teacher. Didn't I say? Oh, she was... I just made that up as an example. Oh, it turns out it was my teacher. I was 21 at the time. I hadn't seen her since 9th grade when she retired. She happened to have stopped in Norway for an overnight while visiting her Danish foreign exchange students. Thank you. I see a couple more. Yeah, 6 degrees of separation. That started with Kevin Bacon, right? Which is weird because that came up on the new podcast that I just did with the Vinci Church pastors. We were talking about prom and dances and how that conservative community did not allow dancing. Kevin Bacon went to a meeting in front of the town and was quoting scripture as to why they should dance. And one of the pastors said, I've never seen that. He's young. I can't blame him. Jason goes on. Who knows? We might be related to Tim. Well, you just never know. I've got another one. Remember when I went to Isla Mujeres, Mexico? So this is like 16 months ago, not this past January, but the January before. And I said I was on the beach and walking. We were going to go, I think, get a massage or go shopping or something. And we were passing through between a beach chair and a massage place. So it was a little close. And I passed this close to a gal and I go, man, she looks really familiar. Yeah. Country singer. Yeah. She really looks like Miranda Lambert. Oh my gosh. And we caught eyes and she went her way and I went down the beach. But, out of context, I thought she looked like Miranda Lambert, but okay. Later that day was a post from Miranda Lambert saying, goodbye, lovely Isla Mujeres. It's been a great vacation. It really was Miranda Lambert. It's probably good that I didn't really know it at the time. I'd probably say, could I get a selfie? She was there. I don't know if it was honeymoon or how long she'd been married at that point. Kevin, I really enjoyed your emceeing at the barbershop show. Great show. Great to talk with you at the Afterglow. Yes. Gosh, has that been like 3 weeks already? Beatles themed barbershop show. Thank you. Randy, traveling for work many years ago, stopped in Missouri for a break. My brother's wife from Sioux Falls was standing next to me. I love that. I love those kind of stories. Steve, my friend, lives in Aberdeen, managed the 3M plant there. Oh. Steve Bigler? Is that the one you're talking about? Who? So maybe it was a different Bigler than I'm thinking of. Thanks for participating, Jay. Small world story from Alyssa. Grew up in northern Minnesota on boys correctional camp. Such a small town that the one and only school had 3 grades per classroom. Of 2 classrooms, when I tell people the town is Togo, Minnesota, no one knows unless they knew someone sent to the camp. Part of the Department of Corrections. Oh, just a small town story. Yeah, I'll bet you all knew each other there. Thank you, Brittany. Good morning to you as well. I see a couple more stories. I think I'm going to have to wrap it up here a little bit. Can I just, for one moment, though, I'm going to hit refresh on my professional platform here. Here we are. Let me go back to this. Come on. 8 people. Go back and look through your notifications. If you see Tim sent you a request to follow his page, what's the worst that could happen? I like to keep it varied. Very popular on the desserts that my friend Ali made for me on Sunday. A key lime pie, a coffee-flavored cake. It was amazing. And then monster cookies. I told Ali I am going to do one of these videos with him because of the story that he told. He learned to cook from his grandma, who's from Iran, and they moved here when he was very young, and they were poor. I'm like, Ali, you need to come on and tell me that story. So he was having a thing. He hit a deer in his car and had a bump on the head. So he said, I need a little time, but I'm going to get a hold of Ali. Okay, follow my page. It's one thing to like a post, but follow the page. Then you get notified when something new comes up. Certainly by lunch today, I can get 8 more. If we don't, at noon, I'm climbing up on top of a building, and I'm going to stay up there until I break 5,000. Thanks for joining me this morning, and thanks for sharing your stories. If you're seeing this later than live, you can still add them, and I will watch them and read them and follow them. We'll talk again soon.